Hey everybody, as promised, I'm going to quickly do a recording just to do an overview of chapters 4 and 5 of this awesome book, GoPro, that we've been going over. Hopefully you guys have been able to read chapters 4 and 5, so this is just going to be brief. But I want you guys to be sure, if you haven't read it, that you please go back and read it. These are two of the best chapters in the book. And if you're serious about your business and you're serious about seeing success, then you've got to take the time and invest in yourself. And this is one of those ways to do that. I really believe in personal growth. I know I've shared about that before, but I think that network marketing is no different than any other career or job, in that you've got to be committed to improving yourself, to growing yourself, to educating yourself. And this is one of the best ways to do that, is through this book. I really believe that it's awesome. So chapters 4 and 5 are about, or chapter 4 is about finding prospects. Chapter 5 is about inviting prospects to, figure out what your opportunity is all about. So chapter 4 was pretty short. It just talked about how to find prospects and how to have a growing list. Now, this is something that you guys should have already done. If you haven't, shame on you, but you need to have a list at this point, a Frank's list. I know I've mentioned that before. That's friends, relatives, acquaintances, neighbors, kids connections, service organizations. So any of your friends, relatives, people that you know through those people, anyone you know who your kids' organization, stuff like that, you need to write them all down and make a very exhaustive list. And obviously Facebook makes this easier for us because you can look at your friends list and kind of get some ideas from there too. But you need to have an exhaustive list at this point of 100 to 200 people. And then you should be adding to that list all the time. I'm still, to this day, I'm friending new people, I'm adding to my list, friending new people, adding to my list. Just tonight, I sat down and I banged out 60 messages, which obviously I don't do that regularly, but tonight I just, I had some time and my kids aren't feeling well, so they kind of went to bed a little earlier than normal, and so I just decided to go for it. And I sent out 60 messages tonight to people that I'm prospecting. What I sent to them was pretty simple and basic, and what I send to most people is just, hey, I'm not sure if you've seen me posting about Plexus or not, but it's something I'm really passionate about. It's completely changed my life. I would love to see it bless you the way that it has me. If you're not interested, or I usually say you may or may not be interested, and that's totally fine because it kind of takes the pressure off, but I would love to just share a little bit with you about it. Is that okay? And I sent that to literally 6 people and in the last probably hour, and I've already gotten back like 10 responses. Okay, so it's really important that we be cold messaging, and I know that can be scary, but the only way to do that effectively and to stay organized is to have a list. So that's why we're making this list. We're checking people off as we're going, and we're consistently adding to it. And so in this book, he talks about how it really should be called an active candidate list. And he says it should never stop growing. The pros have a goal to add at least 2 people to that list every single day. So this is 2 new people you're either meeting or you're thinking of or you're reconnecting with, okay? They may not prospect them immediately, but they go on the list and they find a creative way to stay in touch. Well, we are blessed network marketers in today's day and time, I guess you could say, because we don't really have to find that many creative ways to stay in touch. We have social media, which gives us an amazing tool to stay in touch. But what we need to be doing is interacting with these people, not just trying to prospect them necessarily initially, but interacting with them, getting to know them, commenting on their things, messaging with them, telling them happy birthday, things like that to really build a relationship and a foundation there. Let's see here. Which is one of my favorite things that he says, because I think I'm a numbers girl and I love this. How hard would it be for you to raise your awareness and add 2 new people a day to your list? Okay, let's say just 2 new people a day to your list. Think about it. If you did that 6 days a week, that's 600 new people on your list in a year. Do that for 5 years, and that's over 3,000 people. Can you understand why professionals never worry about running out of people to talk to? So if you're worrying, or if you're stressed, or you're trying to convince someone to join you because you feel like you're running out of people to talk to, then you should be expanding your list more. If that's a worry for you, you should be expanding your list more. And that's not what the pros do. The pros are constantly adding. They have an active candidate list, and they're constantly adding to it. So they don't have that concern of running out of people to talk to. And it takes a lot of the pressure off, too. It makes it less scary. It makes it less likely for you to feel like you might be failing, because I have tons more people to talk to. There's tons more people for me to add to my list, and there's tons more people on my list. So you're going to keep talking and keep talking to new people. If you're let me just speak to somebody tonight, because I just know there's somebody who's sitting there feeling like this. If you're feeling like I'm trying but nothing's happened, what if I run out of people? You need to be adding to your list. Focus on adding to your list. Get a big list going, an active candidate list, and keep talking to new people. If you're talking to enough people, then you don't need anyone. Remember, I said that in the first video. If the only person that can make or break your business is you. So if you feel like you have to have someone, then you're not talking to enough people. Okay, so let's just clear that up right now. And you guys all are capable. I know you are, and you're going to do some amazing things with this. I can't wait to watch and see that happen. Okay, hang on a second. No, I love you so much. One of the sickies is coming to the picture again. Okay, I'm almost done with this, and I'll come back in here with you. Okay. All right. So once you've identified your prospects, right, and you've been making this list, and you've been cold messaging and reaching out to people, then what's the next thing to do? Okay. Now, some people go into it with there's two different types of approaches. Some people go into to cold messaging with the approach of being a hunter. Okay, like you're going around and you're shooting at everything, and you're firing at everything that moves, right? And sometimes that's when people feel like they're being sold to, and it doesn't go over very well. Well, what we want to be is we want to be farmers. We want to cultivate a relationship. We want to really show that we care, and that's going to give us a lot more success, okay? So that when the timing is appropriate, you invite the person to hear about your business or about your product or about your opportunity, but you're not just firing at everyone as fast as you can, okay? So there's obviously a lot of different companies have different approaches. Some have CDs they have you send. Some have pamphlets they have you send to people that are in an invitation. Plexus doesn't really have a stock thing that we do. I, however, really like our video, and I know some of you are newer and you may not even know what I'm talking about, but we have a video of what if this could change everything video that Tiffany and I and some other ambassadors created. It's less than 15 minutes long. It has a code word in it. And so what I'll do a lot of the time is I will message someone, and if they're interested and we're talking back and forth, I'll say, if I, then you. Now, this is a very, very, very powerful statement, and I want everybody, hopefully you guys are taking notes, to write this down. If I, comma, will you, period. Okay, so this is an if-then statement. And this is how you're going to use this statement. For example, with this video, and if you guys are interested, I'll send you the link to it. It's on YouTube. If I send you a video that's very, this is probably what I would say, actually, because it kind of helps when people know that it's not going to be like some long movie. If I send you a quick, less than 15-minute video, will you watch it? Okay? That's very simple. If I, will you? Now, the purpose of this statement is that you're getting a commitment from that person. And we're going to go through and get that commitment several more times before the end of this invitation. And this is really what he talked about in the chapter, okay? You're not in this initial portion of prospecting someone, you're not trying to tell them anything about Plexus. You're not puking Plexus all over them, as we call it. You're not giving them a ton of information, as we call it. You're simply inviting them to learn more. That's it. Okay. So please be sure to keep that in mind. That's what runs people off, is when we give them too much initially. Okay. So you notice that when I said I was sending this message out earlier, what did I do? I invited them to learn more, but I did not send them a paragraph in the initial message telling them anything about Plexus or what it was. Okay. So that's really important. And he talks a lot about that. Again, I'm skipping things, so please go back and read chapters 4 and 5 if you have not already. These are really the two most important ones in the whole book, I think. And then just a quick snippet. He also talks about how you must emotionally detach yourself from the outcome. It's extremely important. Our initial goal is education and understanding. It's not necessarily to get a new customer right then or sign a new ambassador. In other words, if you disconnect your emotions from the outcome and just focus on education and understanding, everything gets very simple. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Be ourselves, bring our passion to the table, but don't go crazy and overdo it, right? And it's easy to do, but that was me in the beginning, so I'm speaking to myself too. Don't go crazy and overdo it, but bring some passion to the table, okay? And have a strong posture. And I think, I'm planning to talk more about posture in the next video, so I'm not going to get all into that right now in my notes because I know it's a lot. But posture is very important. Having confidence is very important, though, and so that's something that I want you to bring to the table too. But this is what we're going to do when we invite, okay? So here's a step-by-step, so get your pen ready. Step 1, you're going to always be in a hurry. So if you're talking to someone face-to-face, you're going to say, hey, Sue, I really don't have a lot of time right now. I'm kind of in a hurry. I got to run. But, and then here's a good place to give them a compliment, okay? So something like, I know you would be amazing at what I'm doing right now, and I really want to share some information with you about it. Here comes the if I would you. If I send you this link for a video that would explain a little bit about what I'm doing now, would you watch it, okay? Now, our video actually has a code word in it, and so this is how I use the video kind of to my advantage too, to get a sample to them. So I'll say, if I send you this video that I have that has a code word in it, would you watch it, get me the code word back, and then I'll send you a sample in exchange. Okay, so that's a really great way to get a sample in their hands too. And plus, people love free stuff, so it kind of gives them an incentive. So if I send you a link, could you check out this video, get me the code word back, and I'll send you a free sample in exchange, okay? Once they say yes, I will. That's the first commitment, but that's not enough, okay? Statistics show that if you can get 3 commitments from someone in a conversation, you go from like a 10% likelihood that they'll actually do it to like an 80% likelihood. That's a huge jump. So we're going to get 3 commitments. I know that sounds weird initially to ask them that many times, but it's how you're going to phrase it that's going to make it not feel awkward, okay? So this is what we're going to do. We do our if I, would you statement, right? Then we're going to get, they're going to say yes. That's our first commitment, right? They say yes. Then you're going to write back. You're going to, if you're messaging, you write back. If you're face-to-face, you would just ask, obviously. Okay, awesome. So when do you think you'll have time to watch it? I know you're super busy. Okay, then they're going to give you the time commitment. This is going to increase that, like I said, statistical probability that they're going to actually do what they say they're going to do. So they say, tonight's crazy for me. I'll watch it tomorrow morning. Okay, then you're going to write back and say, so if I check back with you tomorrow night, you will have watched it already, right? That's getting that third commitment from them. And they're going to say, yes, I will have watched it by tomorrow night. Also, that means when you follow up tomorrow night, you're not bugging them. You're not hassling them or harassing them in any way. You're simply doing what you said you were doing. You're being a good business person. And then you're going to stop talking. Nothing else to say, nothing else to overwhelm them with, nothing for you to feel scared about, because you don't have to have all the answers right then. You've already said you're in a hurry, right? So you're just going to end it right there. You're going to send them that link and you're going to say, okay, awesome. I'll check back with you tomorrow afternoon, right? Super easy, super simple. You guys, everyone can do this. So easy, so simple. All right. So it goes into more detail about how to compliment them, how to be in a hurry, all that kind of stuff in the book, but you guys can obviously go through and read all of that. And then it also has some other ways that you can reach out to them that I'm not going to go into right this minute, but called the indirect approach, which is where you're just asking them if they know anyone who might be interested. And that's a really good one to use on someone that maybe has even said they're not interested. You could write them and say, ask for referrals and say, do you know anyone who might be interested? Or do you know anyone who has migraines, anxiety? I use this a lot. And then I've even had people write back and be like, wait a minute, I have that. So, you never know. Or if you're just really scared. We all have like kind of a chicken list, right? Of people we know would rock it, but we're scared to ask. That's a good one too, to send to them, to say, I respect you so much and I respect your opinion. And I would love if you have anyone you know who would really be looking for some extra income or who would be looking for some health products, if you would please send them my way. That opens a conversation and a chance for you to discuss it, and it's a lot less scary. So that's a good approach to use with someone like that. All right, so we're going to get this again really quickly. I'm going to just repeat it in case you guys were trying to write and I talk too fast. This is why I don't like doing recordings. I like doing it live so I can have some feedback from you guys, but we'll talk more. And please be sure that you message me back in the thread. Let me know you've watched it, any questions you had, any comments you had. I'm really grateful for any feedback too. Okay, so again, step 1, be in a hurry. Be in a hurry. Step 2, I'm talking slow in case you're writing. Step 2, give them a compliment. So either if it's that you're trying to get them on the product, say, I respect your opinion and I would love your feedback on what I'm, about these products that I'm in love with and so passionate about. Or if you want them in the business, and you would give them a compliment and say, you're very influential, you have a great personality and a beautiful smile, you're so outgoing, whatever. A compliment, letting them know why you think they would be great at this. Okay, step 3 is when you make the invitation, and then kind of at the same time do your if I, would you, okay? And then you're going to get the 3 commitments. So they say yes, then you ask for their time commitment, and then you're going to say when it is that you'll be checking back with them. Okay, that's your 3rd commitment. And then get off the phone, get off the message, or get out of the store if you see them there, whichever the case may be. Okay, one more thing I just really like to share with everyone, because I think this is so cool. One of the trainings I did a while back, and this is not in GoPro, but one of the trainings I did a while back, they talked about kind of the percentages of prospects that we talk to and how things kind of trickle down and end up, if that makes any sense. So for example, the training that I did, he talked about how only 10% of people that we talk to will even really necessarily respond. And that seems sad, right? But really it's not, because if we can just go into it with that approach, it's way less disappointing when we send out 10 messages and we get one response, right? If we know it's not us, and that's not a reason to give up, because even the diamonds making $500,000 a year, that's how it was for them too. Okay, so I feel like that's important to say, that I don't want you guys to be discouraged by that. That should be encouraging to you, because that happens to everyone, and yet so many people are going on to have crazy success. Okay, that's just the way it is, unfortunately. So let's say that in a year you were to talk to 600 people, right? Which is possible, because we've already talked about the 2 people, per day added to your list for 6 days a week, ends you up with 600 people in a year. Okay. So just 2 people a day. Really, you guys should be messaging 5 new people a day. That's what I recommend. But even just 2 a day, 2 new people a day, you're going to have 600 in your first year of business that you've talked to. Okay. Or that you've messaged or called or whatever. Okay, so let's say we follow that 10% rule, and we say that 10% of those are going to actually get back and have some communication with you and maybe join your business. Okay. So that gives you 60 new joins in a year, which is a really good number. If you guys sign 60 people in a year, that's very good. Okay. But let's just say that you do that. If you are structured and you stick with this and you message 2 people every day for a year, not even every day, some days you could take off, but 6 days a week for a year, you messaged 2 new people a day. I'm sorry. And you got that 600. That based on that 10% rule, you're going to see about 60 people join your team. Okay. So that's really a good number, 60 people. Okay. Let's just be realistic though, right? Of those 60, most of them probably will join, use the products for a while, and maybe fall off, right? That's just the realistic, the way we see things happen. A few of them may stay on for long term, but just be wholesale buyers, right? They're not necessarily selling it, but they're wholesale customers. And I have a lot of those, and those are really great because you get the points and it helps you promote. But really about 10% of those that have joined you are actually going to work, are going to be like you guys, are going to want to go all in, are going to want to really work and see success with this. Okay. So that's saying you're going to have about 6 runners. 6 runners in this business is enough to go diamond. And I'm telling you that, guys, because the numbers make sense. Let's say those 6 people, then you also train them to go to their 600 a year. They're messaging 2 people they're messaging 2 people a day, 6 days a week, whatever. And this camera looks terrible. I hope you guys can even see me when I send you this link. But let's say your 6 runners, as we call them, or your 6 really hard workers. From that 600, you've got 6 people that are really working, okay? And they go on and they talk to 600 people, right? And then they sign their 60. Now you've gotten, out of your 6 times 60, I'm sure you guys can see where I'm headed with this, you now have 360 people on your team. Does this make sense? Because you're getting paid points on all of those people as well. So this is why network marketing works. And this is why I want you guys to understand that you don't have to be some crazy salesperson. You don't have to be some amazing, network marketing extraordinary person. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but anyway, you don't have to be that, because if you are successful enough in your diligence and you are committed to 2 a day and you are consistent with that, you will see results. Can you imagine in a year's time, if you were to sign 60 ambassadors to your team by reaching out to 2 a day? Wouldn't that be worth it? Wouldn't that be so worth it? Now, let's say you only do it 2 days a week, right? And you're inconsistent and you reach out to 2 people 2 days a week. Think about how much drastically that's cutting into your numbers, right? So this is a numbers game, guys. It just is. It's a numbers game. I talked about that a lot at convention when I was there. This is a numbers game. You have to be putting in the work, reaching out to the numbers. The people who talk to the most people about Plexus will be the ones to win. Those will be our diamonds. Okay. That's just the way it is. You got to talk to people in this business. Okay. I'm going to get off this thing. I love you all so much. I'm so sorry again that I missed the last one. I was so spastic that night. I don't know what was wrong with me, but thank y'all for your grace and showing me some forgiveness for that. I feel awful. But I hope this video really helps you guys, and I love you so much, and I'll see you this week for our final session, our number 4. Okay. See you later.